Check. Oh yeah, we gotta do it all over again. We gotta do it all over again. Okay, ready? Welcome back to the Dot Lot this Wednesday for
Teens in Space.
Welcome back, where we never have audio problems, and we're here to play some more Teens in Space. We're obviously very excited to be back. The crew is hyped and ready to go. I'm hyped and ready to go. I think last week proved to be, well, it was definitely thirstier than I expected. That's for sure. And it was full of these really just beautiful little moments between both the players and them just understanding and getting used to traveling together once again. So as we go around and you all introduce yourselves and your characters, I'd like to hear a little snippet of what you think your favorite moment from last week was. That moment that really just stuck with your character. Whether it was your moment or another character's moment. And then we'll do a nice little recap. So we're gonna kick off with Caspia. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having me back.
Yes, of course.
Not kicking me off and saying, be gone.
Never.
I am Caspia. I'm playing a Bentosa, which is a sentient body of water. I have a android suit that I mostly spend my time in just so I can function in our more physical society here. And I'm 8 years old, and I'm the dreamer of the group.
And our pilot.
Yes.
And our pilot, yes.
Because I dream about the stars.
Oh.
And
So
freedom from the
cute.
aquarium that I was born in. Yes, in a little boy's bedroom. Trying to convince him, no, let me go free. Yeah, so that's that story.
A story for another day.
Favorite moment. There's such good ones. Okay, I think that it was something just for me, it was just delightful, was the first time I saw Marcus with the flower on his head, and I just thought this is just delightful and wonderful, and it made me really happy. It made me smile a lot.
That's wonderful. Everything that Teens in Space should be. Delightful and wonderful. Coming at you straight here from the Dot Lot. Awesome. Yeah, for sure. There's it always amazes me what anybody that I invite to the channel brings for cosplay, because, I'll be honest, I don't ever ask anybody to. They just feel really inspired to do so. So I have to say, you guys have stepped it up a notch, which I think is just really fun. So anyways, moving right along, welcome back, Cicero.
Oh, thank you, Chelsea. I am so happy to be here. I'm Cicero Holmes, guys. I am playing Fermal, aka Bob, who is your gaseous manite from Magmaminus.
Yeah. Hey, you made that up, sir.
I did.
You did that to us.
I did that to myself.
You did that to us.
So, man. My favorite moment. You know what? My favorite moment was when Chim opened his mouth for the very first time. Because that Southern accent is, as Victoria said, delightful. It is just, oh man, you want I should beat that box down?
I'm so happy that there's like red shining on my face because I'm sure it's just beet red.
Oh, it's so funny. Definitely a heartwarming character. Speaking of Chim, welcome back, Gnome.
Thanks. Got dog hair everywhere. So great. Hi, my name is Gnome, and I'm going to be playing Chim, who is our big beef mattress mercenary, who is a Pantheros in the shape of a Throgafel. So it's a gnome. Well, no, it's a wow, words are hard today. It's a Goliath pretending to be a gnome. That's what it is. That's kind of like the relationship there. And my favorite moment is everybody just like being wing friends to Thermal Bob's starstruckness. Like, I just love how the whole team kind of ganged together and was like, we see what you're putting down. We're going to pick it up a little bit and raise the roof with it. You go shoot your shot.
Right.
Love that.
Oh man, yeah.
There was like I said, some serious crushes happening last week. I want to think today's tweet said deep space and big crushes. Deep space and big crushes is where we're at. So yeah, there was a lot, and if I remember correctly, the super popular girl, she also was had some hard crushes on a beefy chim, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, that was awkward.
The third term we're going to use to describe teens in space, as all great teens should be, awkward.
Yes, awkward, yeah.
And speaking of our best, most awkward boy, I was about to say, I'm going to say Pierce because I mean your character, not you personally, Marcus.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I believe that. Sure.
Welcome back, Marcus.
Sure. Hi, my name is Marcus. I am playing the nerdy little cactus boy from, I forgot the name of the planet. He's Herbacean, and he is a medic. He is resembles a swirl cactus and is very prickly, but he's very friendly. Honestly, going last, you guys all said my favorite thing, so I'm gonna have to like kind of vamp. I'm not stalling for time until I think of something different at all.
Not at all.
No. I'll say this, Dot, I loved your NPCs. I loved your NPCs.
Oh, really?
I'm so excited to meet more of them. I second everything everyone else said, and then I'm going to add that on top.
Aw,
so thank you so much.
Marcus.
There you go. You found the thing that we left for you.
Well, I am, that's humbling. I'm Dot. I'm GMing this evening, and I'm excited to be back. There were a lot of really fun moments, so I'm going to use them actually as the outline, I think, for today's recap, which is in simple that these 4 teens are on the verge of graduating from the tip-top school here in Beta Cloud Nebula, the system that we are in. They have been assigned a very important mission as their final. They are to escort the Galactic Princess, which, to everyone's surprise last week, turned out to be a Quilarian. Now, Quilarians are a rather rare species here in Beta Cloud Nebula, having been almost exterminated during the war that happened 100 years ago. And the princess herself is a very small, a kind of feisty Quilarian, which seems to be a draw to the gaseous form, because thank you for that subscription. The gaseous form is obviously drawn to prickly hedgehog-like female types, so we had a massive crush that got started. But we learned a lot about how each of these teens function. We learned that Caspia has a water slide, literally, on the interior walls of her ship to get around. We learned that Nat 20s can make anything happen in a vessel, pretty much, thanks to Bob. We learned that Chim is actually, though short-sentenced, rather charismatic, and dealt very finely, in fact, with the royalty that happened, or that they met last week. And we learned that Pierce, even with his spiky exterior and constantly seeking options to cover his spiky quills, is also somewhat the most grounded of all of the crew. Constantly coming back and bringing us back into a little bit of reality in this futuristical world of 2284. We left off last week on a really important moment. The Galactic Princess had left her home, station side, from a place called the Nero Colony. She has never, ever been to space. You invited her onto your vessel and treated her rather well, as per the final assignment that you've been given. And because of it, she was so excited that she felt the necessity to share it with the rest of the galaxy. Because it just so happens that our princess, she calls herself, of course, Sugar Spike, at least her handle, that she decided a live stream of her exit from the Nero colony and first arrival into space was the perfect way to celebrate with all of you. And after a selfie has been posted, there's probably what I would consider a hard moment of silence as the team simmers on the fact that just went out to literally everyone.
We are famous.
I would like to cut off the Wi-Fi.
Okay. I would think that's not too hard. It's your vessel. I don't know that I necessarily need a roll for that one.
Yeah,
you walk up and
I would like
off.
to like unplug it and be like, oh, I don't know what happened.
Her little tiny Quilarian paws that have been clicking away at her phone or her tablet screen stop. And she kind of looks up at all of you and she goes, oh, it's not working.
But did we get verified?
I mean, the live went through, but look, our selfie's so cute and nobody's ever gonna see it.
Oh, it's probably a reception issue, actually. So if you want to, we can have a look at that overnight if you just want to go check out your bunk.
Overnight?
We'll
I'm
see,
not
we
gonna
can
be able to post till tomorrow?
Well, I assume you could just schedule things.
Yes.
I've never scheduled ever. She kind of has like a moment. She kind of plops down on her little hiney and she's like, okay, well, what do you do when you're not live-ing or whatever?
Bob, you can answer that, can't you?
Yeah. We get to know each other.
Why?
Because, yeah, tell her, Pierce.
Well, because as crewmates, getting to know each other kind of helps get through this. So we could kind of tell stories and come up with like some kind of social media plan, maybe, if you're interested.
Stories? Oh, I usually read mine in the morning. You tell them?
Yeah. Not a lot to do out here in space, especially when we're just traveling.
There's nothing to do in space but tell stories. That's why we're here, gang! Well put. She goes, okay, well, show me how to do it.
Oh, well, you start off with something that's not painful, but if it's painful in a funny way, a way that was easily accessible to the people around you. So I can tell you this one time where No, I can't tell that one. That one's too painful. Bob, why don't you go?
This one time, I went out of my suit, and then I got cold, and I thought I was going inert. That is what happens to our people, the great inerting.
Great
You know,
inertia.
because guys, yes, because guys, inert gas. That's when it dies.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Science.
Right. Then I realized I could get back in my suit, and I got hot again, and everything was fine. Ha 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 ha.
I just project an image of going down a water slide.
Oh.
Oh.
What about you? And she like looks way up.
I'm gonna go cook. Y'all hungry or?
You don't have a story?
No, but I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. Y'all want
You cook your own
some
food?
sustenance? Yeah, you want to cook your own food? I mean, it's really just like a microwave. It like takes like 2 seconds. You just kind of push a button and
Microwave.
It's a micro
It's
vaporwave.
it's an insta wave.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's rather interested. She's probably never seen anything like this in her life. I'm not allowed in the kitchen.
Why?
Why you? Well, yeah, why?
It's dangerous.
Oh, it's only dangerous if you stab yourself with a knife or burn yourself with the fire or something falls on top of you that's bigger than you. Oh, I see why. Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed in the kitchen. We'll keep an eye on you. Don't worry. We got your back.
I'll keep you safe. Back home, is there anyone who keeps you safe? Like, you know, a friend that maybe, you know, like a boy or something.
Boy, no. I have my sisters.
Oh, yeah. Sisters are cool.
And I guess my dad. He's kind of hard, though. He doesn't like me talking to people.
Oh, well, I'm not really people. I'm gas. So you can talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Cool. She looks at her pad again, like, you know, that, like, reach that happens when we are addicted to a tablet or a screen, and she realizes it's not working again, and she puts it down and proceeds to walk with you all to the mess area of your vessel.
Pierce kind of hangs back a little bit slowly, kind of gets next to Caspia and is just trying to. Can I? So Caspia, this is I guess it's more of a question for Victoria. Can Pierce like send messages to you, or does it have to be verbal, or can you read what he's saying?
That's a good question.
I was gonna say, I don't
Like-
know that it actually states
Yeah.
that.
I don't think it does. Like, I know, like, I have hive mind and stuff, so
Okay, then I'll just whisper.
just simple, stealthy communication is fine.
Hey, Caspia. Do you think that live stream might have put us or the princess in danger by any chance?
I picture, like, you know, that universal stick with the doot 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 doot.
Yeah, the broadcasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it just flashes danger, danger, danger.
Yeah, I thought so too. We'll keep an eye out.
She's probably now, she's managed to kind of get up and on what I can imagine, like, in my head, this ship is, there's probably a significant amount of, like, chrome covering, and it's like a little booth that's, like, inset into maybe a corner. Comes pretty standard on most vessels, and then you can add everything around it. But she's kind of popped up on this booth and onto whatever surface is here, whatever the table is here on Caspia's ship, and she kind of sits there and is gonna watch you cook.
So, what's everybody's favorite food? I know so Caspia prepared, like, stocked everything with, like, all of our favorite foods. What
yeah.
is everybody's favorite?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
So Bob, being gas, only enjoys spice. So cooked spice. So the aromas are how he feeds.
Okay, very cool.
Pierce's favorite foods are sunlight and a small amount of water. But if you look above where the actual spices usually are, there's a small green bottle filled with a very dark green liquid. And if you put 2 drops of that in water and pour it onto the top of Pierce's head, it's basically like eating a lot of junk food for Pierce. It's very good, but it's very filling.
It's
That's so good.
okay.
I have a whole wall that's just a giant tank of algae. And I take the algae out and I, like, open up. There's a special part in my suit, and I put that in. And then when it starts floating around all inside me, you can see all the little sea monkeys swimming around and eating.
Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with all of your characters so much. Okay, she kind of watches all of you do the thing you do, and she says, I'm strictly a vegetarian. Have vegetables.
Oh, we have plenty of
Point at
those.
the algae.
No, she looks at the algae like, I could
I have like
eat
a
that.
spoonful of.
Yeah, I could.
green stuff.
She could. She sniffs it and she says, I mean, like, maybe, I don't know, a cucumber? Space tomato?
I think we do have some space tomatoes.
She goes, really?
Yeah, they might be freeze-dried, but they're pretty good.
Oh, well, I don't know what that is, but I could try.
Do you want to make it?
Freeze-dried space tomato?
Well, yeah. I mean, you gotta kind of cook it.
Do you have to take it out into space?
No, you just here. You just kind of push this button over here, right?
Okay.
And
Wait, can I push the button?
you could push the buttons.
Okay.
So Jim will like set her up and like show her like there.
She has like a
It's
little
like a
paw.
selection menu.
Yeah, a little paw, and she hits the big button, which most people could probably press with like a finger. And she has a full paw, and it begins to I guess freeze dry this space tomato. Which I imagine is no longer red. It's probably, I don't know, I imagine it's purple. Ooh, I want it to be
Yeah, it's
purple.
like purple and blue.
Yeah, it's like a
Space.
virus, space, radiation, right? What up? Like,
Green dots all over it and everything.
yeah, and so she watches it as it literally sucks the juice from this space tomato, just like, and it dries it down almost instantly, and she gasps and like covers her face, and she says, "Did we kill it?"
Well, no, it is dead.
She says, "No, it wasn't," and she
vegetable.
pops the door open and she reaches in and she puts her little paw on it and she kind of closes her eyes for a minute and she thinks really hard. I killed it.
Oh, wow.
It's not alive.
Well, it was alive, but you have to eat it, so
Yeah.
it must die.
Well,
What?
yeah,
I
I guess
don't.
that's
Enjoy it.
It's
She's
not alive in the strictest sense, but it's also not dead in the strictest sense. So maybe you should enjoy eating it.
she.
Try it.
Okay.
No,
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
She kind of goes and
take this.
and then it kind of like crunches. And she like nibbles and she says, "Usually she goes, "I'm sorry. I have to go like blog or something." And she kind of like pops down and like runs off.
Oh, well, that was as bad as this could have gone, I think.
I mean, she that's what she wanted. She could have had some of this tire.
Yeah, well, I guess she could have. You know, you're right.
This tire. There's anybody that wants to can roll. I'm gonna make this actually. It's kind of like a sensory check, but it's more like an insight. So, I'll give you guys this is kind of like a brain.
I'll roll.
Yeah, roll
yeah,
a brain.
cool.
Roll a brain.
7.
A say. That's pretty good. Okay, a 7. Hey, and you crit failed. So guess what? You get our
Dark points?
first, kinda. They're called adversity tokens, which can be
Oh,
used throughout the
yeah.
game. So I'll let you kind of mark them, but yeah, Caspia gets our first adversity token. No, she seems very upset, and you're completely not sure why. Other than the fact that she said she killed this vegetable. Pierce. Last game, I want to think you rolled for a little history on
Yes.
the Quilarian people. And you were reminded or made privy upon your research that the Quilarians were once known for their sensitivity to something called the bind.
The bind.
And upon first meeting the princess, she definitely did not seem like anybody that would be connected to the bind. But as she spent more time with all of you, you've become a little socially aware of the fact that she is not as dumb, maybe naive, but not as dumb as she plays, and that you may have just witnessed her using the bind. It is well known that nobody of the Quillarian race has been able to connect with the Bind in almost since the wars.
Okay. I would like to go after her.
Okay. She ran to the bunks, which are all together, so
Yeah. Okay.
she can't really close the door or anything. They're just bunks.
I will grab a cucumber and head to the bunks.
Okay.
Didn't mean for it to sound like that.
You don't. As long as you don't try to hide it, all of you see Pierce snatch up a space cucumber.
I have to use tongs to grab the space cucumber because I'll break it if I don't.
Yeah. And you're able to kind of pit her behind her. She sits on her bed, scrolling through a data pad, this tablet that is no longer connected to the internet. She kind of keeps thinking maybe if she scrolls it will just update and be back online.
Hey, princess.
Yeah.
I brought you a cucumber.
Really?
Yeah, and Pierce holds it out at the tip of the tongs and is just kind of holding it.
And she reaches out and kind of takes it. It takes both of her hands probably to hold it. And she says, "Thank you. I didn't mean. I'm sorry. I was rude.
No.
I'm sorry."
No, it's okay. It's okay. We all get sad eating space tomatoes sometimes. Happens to the best of us.
Really?
I got sad eating a space tomato about a year ago, but that's only because I can't digest solid food. Sorry.
That's interesting. I'm just tired. I am so tired, and like I can't post anything, so I'm gonna just eat this cucumber and wait till we get there. How long till we get there?
Oh, I'm not sure. Probably not too long unless we run into any trouble, which I don't think we will.
Trouble?
So,
What kind of trouble?
well, you know, out here in space, it's not always safe, but that's why you got big, strong people like us.
Like Bob?
Like Bob. Specifically Bob. Very much specifically like Bob. Bob's gonna...
Somebody please clip all of them like, yes!
I was wondering if I can ask you a question. So, the Quillarians and the Herbaceans kind of go back a long way.
Mm-hmm.
And feel free, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. But were you Yes.
Where she like bites her little Quillarian face into this cucumber and she's listening intently at you.
Do you have access to the bioorganic mystical power known as the Bind?
No. I don't need I don't bind anything. No.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just noticed something was a little off and I wanted to check.
It's not off. Bind. That's that nonsense that everybody talks about. That's not a thing. It's not a thing.
It just seemed like you might be sensitive to it at least.
No, just dried out tomatoes.
Okay, well,
She's like stress eating now.
I'm sorry for bothering you then, but if you need to talk, we're all here, especially Bob.
Okay.
Can I get you another cucumber?
One cucumber is far more than a small Quillarian's belly should be able to hold. So she definitely, she goes, no, she sets it on her bedside and she says, this is plenty, thank you. She says, I'm gonna take a nap now. I'm kind of tired.
Okay. If you need anything, just make sure to ring your bell that I gave you. It's a medical bell, so just go boop, and I'll be right over.
She kind of tests it once with her tiny hand. And
Pierce had turned away for a second, and when she pressed it, she immediately turns back with the med pack. Yes?
I was just testing it, just testing it. And she kind of, she says, thank you. And she sets it next to the cucumber on her bedside. And she crawls into a bunk that is far too large for her and pulls up a sheet, just kind of up and around as the quills lay flat to her body, and she kind of curls into a ball and lays soundly, and you can hear her kind of, she's maybe talking to herself or whispering to herself, but she just kind of talks under her breath, and she's like,
Pierce walks out and quietly. So I don't know if do we have space doors that go?
yes, they're definitely hydraulic
Okay.
based, like.
So he tries to quietly shut the space door by pressing it slowly, and it does not work.
No.
Well, he tries every time when he's trying to be sneaky and
Sure,
quiet.
sure.
Pierce kind of sits outside the door for a second and is thinking about what she said and how she reacted to it, and is going to kind of keep that in mind in engaging with her from now on. Heads back to the kitchen.
Yes. The four of you are left alone.
So Bob wants to talk to Caspia, and he says, Sugar Spike.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of cute, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, you see her as like a little, her little cute self, and then with picture of like a bunch of little hearts and like big eyes that go, "Whoop." Very cute.
Do you think a solid and a gas guy like me could, yeah.
You then see a series of confused images. You know when you think something and it's just a quick series of flash images as you get this concept, and it's like her trying to figure out, or them trying to figure out what that would work. How that would work. And so
what is probably the right word?
Yeah, so it's just a series of weird, maybe like, I don't know if anyone here has seen High Spirits.
Yes.
Yes, and you know when the spirits like walk through them and it's supposed to be sexual?
Yes.
It's like, so they consider that, and then they consider like all sorts of things like that.
Victoria, we are sharing a mind because Cicero, not Bob, had been thinking about something very similar. So,
oh, scalping, that's what it was called.
that, yes.
So you just see a bunch of series of images of various ways in which they think a gaseous and corporeal being would be like.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about going to the prom. I thought it was a waste of time, but now I kind of want to go to the prom.
And then there's like half a confused eye and a question mark. So there's like one wide eye and one question mark. That's what Caspia sees on Bob's face.
Yeah, they picture, I guess, like people in space prom suits.
Lots of
like
rings.
Yes, a lot of rings on things and like pastel colors. I don't know why, but
yes.
people like pastel colors in space.
Of course.
So yeah, a lot of that stuff with that, and then dancing and like woo, fun time type of vibe.
I want to retcon what you said and say that you showed Bob a picture of Bob in his suit with a bow tie on his suit with like frills that are kind of like done up like a bib on the front of his suit.
Okay, yes. That is pictured and cast and there with a lovely little sugar spike.
Yes.
And then there's like a lot of like sugar spikes holding a the camera, her phone, to like
Right.
take a selfie, but her arm's like really tiny and you're really big. So like only like your knee or knee equivalent is like in the shot.
Yeah. So what you see now on Bob's face is big blocks for eyes, and then down where his mouth would be are two giant circles. That is him blushing, and you've never really seen this before, so you're not exactly sure what is happening.
About this time, Pierce returns.
Hey everybody, I made sure she got a cucumber, so I think that'll hold her over at least until tomorrow, but I don't know how long we could hide the Wi-Fi from her before she loses it. Gonna have a real cabin fever situation here.
Everything is fine. We can protect her.
So, Bob,
Yes, Pierce.
like the hedgehog? Do you like the hedgehog, Bob?
Sugar Spike is more than a hedgehog. Sugar Spike is beauty personified. There has never been a solid that has been more captivating than Sugar Spike. There is more that meets the eye there.
Well, I think she's gonna need a lot of protection, so if you need to, take the night watch and hang out, that's totally good. She seems a little sad right now, though. I think I asked too many questions.
Oh, you don't ask questions of Sugar Spike. Sugar Spike asks questions of you, Pierce. Foolish.
And he walks away and he goes towards the back room.
As you of course get close, the door open. You look over to Sugar Spike's bunk. She is definitely there, though engulfed in a sheet that's far too large for her. She is like in a little ball, and she's she's not moving technically, but breathing. You can see her like.
And so you see Bob's eyes as the breaths come out. His eyes turn to hearts, and then they go back, and then they turn to hearts, and then they go back.
This is my anime life for real, y'all. Unless you make yourself known, it looks like she is actively sleeping.
He is not creepily observing her.
Perfect.
Fair.
Not creepy at all. You might not even clear, like you kind of, I assume you like peer in a little bit as to not wake her when you realize she's asleep, but the door keeps
Opening and closing
on you as you're trying to like not wake her and not get into her space. She has nibbled a little farther down on her cucumber, and the data pad sits off to the side. Bob, weirdly enough, her data pad is flashing.
Oh. Bob goes to look at it. It could be important.
It could
So-
be. You go over. It's kind of small.
Yes.
It's meant for a Quilarian, but
Yes.
there is it's kind of like almost like a neon tubing or like LED lighting around the edges.
Sure.
And of course, there's like the message up that says, you've received a message. And the box around it is kind of like flowing this blue color.
Oh.
You pick it up. Do you even know how? Do you regularly use data pads, Bob?
Yeah, so Bob, but Bob's data pads are generally sized for his exosuit. Mm-hmm. So he knows how to like apply the right amount of pressure. He instead of picking up the data pad, he climbs down onto the ground and he is now on the floor looking at the data pad. He's kind of knocked the data pad onto the ground. He caught it in his other hand on the floor, and he is trying to manipulate it while he's on the ground.
All right, I'm going to have you actually roll to pick this back up. I imagine it's so small that once it hits, like once it's there, it's like trying to pick a penny up off the floor without any fingernails. Because your suit is, though relatively dexterous for the average gaseous form, an android suit, still is a bit bulky around the edges. So this is probably going to be a flight check. I know that sounds silly, but that's kind of what dexterity is based on. So unless you have another way that you think of picking this up, I'm going to say it's just nimbly trying to pull it off the floor.
All right. Well, let's give it a roll.
Give it a go. 3. Okay, well, you didn't fail, which is a plus, but you didn't quite make the threshold that I was looking for, which was actually a 4. Right. Great. You try picking it up and it's not working, and it maybe frustrates you a little bit, and this thing keeps flashing. Message received, message received, message received.
So
I imagine that you know to at least touch it, right? The screen.
Right.
Do you touch the screen?
So what Bob does is he releases the vent on his suit, and he becomes gaseous to manipulate the screen.
I love it.
He knows how to. Now, while he can't actually become solid.
Right.
He can gather his gas in a more localized place to make his mass a little bit greater.
Cool. Okay.
So that is how he is going to try and make the screen go and touch the screen.
Go and touch it? Okay.
Yes.
You give up. It's literally like trying to scrape a glued penny off a table. And you're beginning to get frustrated, and the lights are flashing, and we watch. What does it look like as you exit your suit? Is it like a hatch that opens? Is it like a venting system?
It is. So it's a vent. So the vent is, I imagine that there are a few vents. There's one probably like where his belt buckle would be. So he can just let go there. And then I think that there's one on his forearm and make it easy to release and then clamp back when he comes back in. So I think he's going to grab the one by his arm.
Yeah.
And he's going to come out of his suit right there.
This gas pours out, and it almost bunches in density around this, and actually lifts the data pad in a way where it almost kind of floats back, and as the gas pulls back inside, it drops it back into your hand. As it does so, though, it does activate the screen. There is a touch of some kind, and the screen changes and projects a small holodeck across the top. It now begins, boop, 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 boop. The message says, "Your Highness, I am your biggest fan. I cannot wait to meet you."
No,
Boop.
I'm her biggest fan.
Boop, boop.
Do you just say that to the computer?
Yes.
It continues to beep. There's just now the screen has gone black, and there's just a small red dot in the upper corner that flashes every time it makes a sound.
Not a little red dot?
Do not make me play a little red dot on a screen, because I will do it. I can NPC anything. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, there is a little red dot. Cough, cough. May the universe fall apart now. In the upper right-hand corner. Much like that one above my head. And it is boop, boop.
So now kind of getting a sense for the pad, now that it's in Bob's hand, Bob is going to try and figure out what the red dot is and maybe touch the red dot. Should I roll again?
This is a brains check. Go ahead and make a brains check.
All right.
A 5.
Ooh.
You know that this is not how data pads work. The screen should be reacting when you touch it. It is not. Whatever you opened activated something. And Bob, feel little eyes on you. From under the covers. Here, you turn around. She's watching you. She saw you leave your suit.
No. You were sleeping soundly.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to look. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This pad was making lights. You were sleeping. I wanted to turn it off.
What?
Now it's still making lights.
Wait, did I get a message?
Yeah, someone who lied. They say they were your biggest fan. That can't be because I am your biggest fan.
Really?
Yes.
She kind of, you think she blushes, and her quills kind of like fold out now and kind of stand on end as it pushes the sheets away, and she says, can I have it?
You're bad?
No, the data pad.
Yes, you can have the pad.
And she kind of takes it and she goes, what's wrong with it? Did you break it?
I took great care not to break it.
Well, something's wrong with it.
Like what?
I don't know.
Well, I don't either, but I can fix it.
Okay. Really?
I am a great engineer.
Really?
I can... Yes.
Okay, she hands it over to you. This again, if you want to tell us how you want to tell me how you'd like to take a look and maybe fix the data pad or figure out what's wrong with it.
So, here we go again. Here is Bob. He is going to take a look at the data pad, and in his searching, he is searching for cracks and crevices, just imperceptible almost.
Yeah.
Places where he can
slip in.
And
she holds this data pad as you exit your suit again, and she looks amazed as you slip in, no problem. And let's have another brains check. This is another trying to repair.
Let's give it.
Hey! Now that you're inside the data pad, bad news bears. You can tell that there is some damage done to the data pad. You try to tap into whatever like chip is being used in here, and you see that it's been hacked.
Oh.
You think that somebody potentially pinged her post and turned this into a beacon. The trap was the letter, and now it may be literally calling something your direction. There is no salvaging the data pad unless you replace the internal mechanisms.
I like the smash.
Yeah,
Smash.
this data pad is no good.
And he goes back. Well, first, I guess so. Bob comes out of the data pad. He's assessed everything. Right. He's assessed everything. He comes back into his into a suit.
Mm-hmm.
He looks up at her. His face is now angry. He's got the angry eyebrows. Right. And he looks at her and he says,
This data pad is no good.
and he takes the data pad and crushes it.
You guys hear a small whimper from the mess hall of the princess going, oh no!
I'm gonna take my tire and like my half-eaten, tire. I'm
A
hungry.
half-eaten tire.
I'm a hungry boy. I'm just gonna book it. Not with them big legs.
That's called
Hey.
food to go.
Yeah, Pierce also moves in that direction pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm following.
Casper, you guys, the door open, and you witness Bob actively smashing crunch, crunch, crunch her data pad. She is in terror on the bed. Her mouth is agape. Oh my dad! No, that's the only one I had with me. They're saying no.
Pierce leans over to Chim and just like, Bob's really bad at flirting.
Hey, baby, you think? Firmal, Bob, what are you doing? Why are you breaking the princess's machine there?
I fixed it by breaking it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's normally how I fix things. If that's fixing, it look good then.
He said that it was fine, and then he touched it and it started beeping, and then he just.
Bob,
She
what's
passes
going
out on the bed.
Oh gosh.
Good. There was a beacon. Someone hacked this. It needed to be destroyed. I'm going to jettison the parts now.
Does Bob see the can he see the beacon?
It looks like the whole thing was like pinging out from your point, like it turned the entire data pad. So you have managed to smash the active part of like the data pad. It's not functioning anymore. Though jettisoning the parts may not be a bad idea. Because you definitely can't salvage it now.
Right.
Yeah, someone knew where we were. Now they need not to know where we are. They must go.
They kind of already knew where we were going.
Yeah, but they'll know where we were, but not where we are.
Caspia, can we check the sensors to see if anyone's on our tail?
I've already been like running. Towards, like,
All you hear is the
I was
patter of
like,
feet.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah, I'm gone, and then you just see a whole bunch of images of like me doing like astronavigation calculations.
Okay. Actually, there is a role for that.
Okay.
There's like a
All right.
legitimate role for piloting with astronavigation. So it's funny you say that. So this is actually charting the most efficient or safest course, or looking into this is actually a brains check.
Okay.
See what these sea
Brain
monkeys got.
All right. And okay, sorry, I am taking a look.
Okay.
Oh, that's only I'm a hotshot pilot.
Wait, safest course. Oh, wait, but you're with the sentient ship, aren't you?
Yes.
No, not sentient. Just
Oh, it's not.
organic.
That's right. We didn't
Organic.
buy. That's right. We talked about it, but we didn't actually do it because I'm trying to see. We're not dealing with that. We're not dealing with that. So yeah, it would just be the brains to start.
Okay. So, I have some questions. Yes, I like my brain starts going on like, okay, calculating.
Yep.
But I'm running towards the like my cockpit and I'm looking up the computer at the maps, the solar system around us. First off, there's one thing that I always am going to be looking for because this is the kind of person I am.
Okay.
Are there any other inhabited planets around us right now?
Yes.
Okay. Because I am goody two-shoes. I have an adversity token to spend.
You do have an adversity token to spend. How would you like to spend it?
Because I can locate and receive help within reason and without making any stat check. If I talk to law enforcement on any inhabited planet.
Okay. So you would know already, Caspia, that what you're actually headed towards is a specialized, I guess you could call it a portal. Really what it is a slingshot. It is one of the fastest means of travel here, other than the light speed. You could do that, but it's going to take you about 4 days, even with light speed travel, to get where you're actually going to this station. The course originally said, of course, was the shortest, most efficient route, which was through the Great Slingshot. The slingshot is near a couple different planets. There are a couple different planets on the way, but you would know that the closer you get, the more there are like station stops, even small ones, with law enforcement on board. So you would know immediately that you wouldn't actually have to hit planet side to be able to contact law enforcement. You could actually simply dial the right code, and you might actually get somebody to speak to directly.
Okay, yeah. I am... Who would at any point in our previous missions acted as the voice?
Oh, that's true.
Anyone?
Oh, it's 100%
Yes.
is Pierce.
But that's okay. It's Pierce. It was Pierce.
I feel like we all had a chance. Like everybody was like, "Oh, hey, why don't you try?" And it was just disastrous, especially for like Bob and for Tim. Like not good outcomes.
Yeah, because my
that's
my
definitely Pierce.
sequencer with the auto voice isn't always the most efficient mode of
Okay.
communication.
Okay. You do you? I guess you call for Pierce.
Yeah, I project the image of Pierce and project him walking towards the cockpit.
Okay. Pierce reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a cucumber and hands it to whoever's got hands. Bob, are you in your suit again?
Yes.
Okay.
Bob's in the suit.
Give this to her when she wakes up. It might make her feel better. It's like a bouquet, I think. For
A bouquet of cucumbers?
Yeah, it's a bouquet for Valerians.
So, so actually,
He spent the night cutting them up into
did you were they arranged as flowers?
They are. So what he did was he did cut the edges with his spokes. What are they called? Spikes. I can't think of any words right
Yeah.
now.
Yes, yes.
It does kind of resemble, if you were to cut them up, it does kind of resemble flowers.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So Bob is going to see if there is any color. So the cucumbers are, what color are cucumbers now? It's space cucumbers.
I would say that they come in various colors, dependent upon. Some now grow rather tart, like a proper pickle, and some grow rather sweet, like sweet cucumbers. So they vary in shape and size, dependent upon their taste
And color?
and color.
And color.
So I would say there's probably a spectrum. They lean towards
an
the
heirloom.
cooler tones.
Cooler color. So
Yeah.
they're
Multicolored.
blue and yellow or something like that. So so Bob is going to quickly go into the galley and find some candies or sweets that are red.
Oh.
And he is going to carefully adorn the stuff that Pierce did, and he's going to add a little je ne sais quoi to.
I was about to say, no problem. You deck it up as much as you
Yes.
can. She still lays passed out in her bed. Just the stress of the day's been so much.
Pierce then immediately books it down to or up to the cockpit.
Yeah, you book it up there. Caspia is actively, I'm sure, like, what it looks like is you're, like, pinging things and, like, clicking buttons and flipping switches and doing what Caspia is great at.
Yeah. Doing that. Yeah, I am in my seat. I live in this seat. This seat is like molded to my android suit.
Okay.
And yeah, and I'm flipping my buttons and I am trying to locate a communication line.
Okay.
I'm also directing Bob through my head,
Cool.
suggesting check out our computer systems and our backlogs to see if we can track whoever it was that was trying to get the princess's tablet through our Wi-Fi system.
Okay. So my elite hacking skills,
Yes.
hacker skills.
Yes, your hacking skills.
Okay. So Bob goes to the terminal, and he cracks his non-knuckles. It's the one thing that he has stolen from the solids, is this like stretching of your brain muscles.
Okay.
In a physical way.
Yeah.
Is this a brains check?
This is definitely a brains check now. If you're
All
trying
right.
to basically take you've basically piled up all the pieces
Yes.
Because that's all you've got left are pieces of this
Yes.
data pad, and you're going to try to
Yes.
salvage what you can from it to try to maybe backtrace
Yes.
this where it was pinging from.
Right.
Wonderful. Yes,
the
that is
computer,
with the computer. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a pretty difficult roll. I'm going to need a 10 because you destroyed it.
We got this.
You can do it.
We got this.
Wow. Please explain to us your elite hacking as you backtrace this, and then I'll tell you what you actually find.
Right.
Bob understands machines. Machines understand Bob. Bob gets logs.
And so Bob looks through it. What you see on Bob's face now, instead of, if you guys were looking, so Bob's eyes they get narrow, so they just become slits.
Wow.
And his mouth is just a slit, and then automatically what you see on Bob's face is you see a 1, then a 0, then a 1, then a 0, then a 1 and a 0, and a 1 and a 0, and 1 0, 1 and 0, 1 0, and it's just all these 1 and 0s just going around, and it's almost like Bob's in a trance, and he comes out of the trance, and he says,
Casper, you are right. Someone was looking. They found stuff. They found us.
It pinged from a ship.
Yes.
Another vessel. It is on its way here.
It's following us. Let's dump this. I was right.
This comes over. Pierce, you were in charge of speaking. Okay, I'm guessing you guys dialed
yes.
up the local law enforcement. Yes, and you're in charge. It takes a few minutes. The line, you see it go out. Obviously, it needs to go a great distance and come back. And it looks like a secure line returns. There's a slight as it clicks in, and you hear a voice that simply says, Beta Cloud Nebula Security, how can I help you?
Hi, Beta Cloud Nebula Security. My name is Pierce from what's the name of our ship?
what is the name? It's Trader Joe's. It's Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Yep.
Hello, Trader Joe's. It's great. Hello. This is Pierce from the good ship Trader Joe's. We are calling. It's having a little bit of emergency here. We are transporting some sensitive cargo, and I mean that both emotionally and time-wise. We are trying to hustle our way to deliver this, but we believe someone might be tracking us. So we were wondering if you can offer us any help with this in any capacity.
Beta Cloud Nebula Security cares for all residents of Beta Cloud Nebula.
Oh, it's a machine. It's a machine.
There's like a moment, and it pauses and it says, I could be so mean right now.
Do it, Dot.
I know.
Just do it.
Press 1 if you'd like to speak with an active person. Press 2 if you have a further question about your current situation. Press 3 if you would like to hear this menu
You
again.
just hear you in your head 0 0 0 0.
Pierce just presses 0.
You hit 0. There's a moment. A kind of pregnant moment where you're not sure if the line hung up on you because you pressed a number not on the menu, or if it's actually going through.
Hello?
And finally a voice comes in. And it says, Beta Cloud Nebula Security, how can I help you?
Oh, thank you. Hi, my name is Pierce from the good ship Trader Joe's. We are in a little bit of a pickle. We are being tracked by. We are. Now Pierce is now kidding.
Yeah.
I start transmitting our like diplomatic codes and stuff to them.
You begin
like-
submitting these codes, which you would have received. That's actually very smart. You begin transmitting them. There's another long pause. And the voice says, I see. This is sensitive cargo you carry. Do you seek safe haven?
Yes, we are currently looking because we do believe we are being tracked at the moment. We have disabled the tracking device by smashing it repeatedly, then throwing it out the back of the ship. But we fear that they might have triangulated our location. So any help you can offer us would be very appreciated.
Of course, proud citizen of Beta Cloud Nebula. Please, we will send you coordinates for docking on our space station. It is a small security vessel.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate all the help. We will be there shortly. How far are we away, Caspia?
How far are we away?
They ping a set of coordinates, and you're able to like quickly run them, no problem, based on your last roll. And you see that you have about 30 minutes to arrival. It should take you no time at all. They're actually not that far off. It looks like the security station orbits a planet nearby.
Oh, perfect. Well, we will be right over there. Thank you so much, and we look forward to meeting and talking to you soon.
We look forward to you as well.
Okay. You have a wonderful... And the click already happened. I'm assuming they hung up already.
Why are these conversations so long?
And you have a set of coordinates to the security vessel. I will let Caspia take probably off. We're going off course now, so I'll have you just make a flight check, our piloting flight check to manually take us away. And there's a small pitter of footsteps that come down the hall behind you. The princess, she says, I must have slept so hard. I had this dream that my data pad was smashed.
Oh, you had a dream about the thing that actually happened? That's funny. Ha, 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 ha,
What?
ha,
No!
It's terrible at flirting.
She faints again on the floor. A 5. The good news is you're not going too far, and you've been given the coordinates. Thank you for that subscription out there. She faints on the floor. There's a small thud as her body hits it and goes limp. And Caspia, no problem, navigates. You see it. This security space station probably cannot house more than about 20 or 25 people on max on a big day. These kinds of space stations are all over. Some of them are privately owned security, but most of them work for kind of the galactic military, I guess you could call it here in Beta Cloud Nebula. Everything seems to be tip-top. There are 2 security vessels that seem to be on landing docks on this station. There are 2 more that are open, and it seems to be well and good. Do you land?
I
Sure,
immediately reach out for any hive mind people.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you kind of ping outwards. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything. There are no sentient bodies of water that you can tell. There is something that has like a hive mind sentience aboard the vessel, but it is not water based. At least, well, okay. I guess it kind of. No, it's not. It is not water based. It is not H2O. I would say that. Other than that, all like I said, all seems well. There seem to be some other. I'd say Caspia. When you read life that way, you kind of ping. There are some other life forms aboard this ship.
Okay. I tried that one that's similar, but not water-based, because it says similar to myself. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, like, hello?
There is the same kind of deep voice that you spoke with earlier says, secured for landing. This is Trader Joe.
Indeed, this is Trader Joe. We are coming in on course. Insert a whole bunch of numbers here. And I start going in.
Yeah, you have no issue making the landing. You dock on one of these kind of isolated. Basically, there are 4 of them at all 4 corners of this. I guess you could call it kind of a cylindrical space station. And the 2 security ones are docked, and you kind of have a nice empty landing pad. When you arrive, there is a figure that stands at the end of this kind of gangway that's in a clear plastic tunnel, of course, that beckons you in.
Yeah, this is gonna go well.
Right, I know.
Can I, in the meantime?
Yeah, you can do anything you want.
Our princess fainted. I would like to pick her up and just like let her sleep in my hand. I would assume she's so.
Yeah, she's just kind of like.
Yeah, just
There's like a small pink
the
tongue. She's
ground.
like totally passed out.
perfect. So yeah, so Chip's just gonna hang out with everybody else, just holding the princess and still eating his tire, like just kind of working through it. It takes time to process inorganic material, but it's important.
It's a balanced diet.
Yeah,
For-
absolutely.
You land. The ramp off your vessel opens up, leading straight into this, like I said, this kind of clear cylindrical tunneling. And this, he's wearing an official security outfit. It's got the badge, the Beta Cloud Nebula Security logo on it. And he seems to be, from what you can tell, it seems to be human. This is a human man. Older. He's older. An adult, as I guess we can say, since all of you are teens, by the proper sense. And even though some of you are older than him, probably. He kind of salutes and he says, how can we be of service? And he clicks his heels.
We currently are having a little bit of a situation, as we said before. We are worried that we are being tracked, so we're looking for safe haven in the meantime, and maybe something to help throw who's tracking us off of our tail. Could you offer that to us as a way of assistance?
Of course, yes. Of course I can.
Wonderful.
So Bob walks from behind Pierce and looks directly at this guy and says,
Who are you?
My name is Casper. I am Casper. Well, Sergeant Casper. My first name is Ben. I don't really like... I'm Casper. Sergeant Casper. He keeps saying. It says Sergeant Casper on his right there. It seems to match.
So it must be true, huh?
Oh, yes.
I'm suspicious.
Okay. I'm guessing you project the suspicion into everybody's brain.
Yes. You just feel this. It's more of a sensation that you feel. You feel like your lips purse and your brows furrow.
Yep.
And all of like your shoulders tighten a little bit and your head moves. That's the sensation you feel, but of course none of that's actually happening.
I think I
Correct.
kind of look over at everyone. I'm like,
Yeah, Chim will bring the princess close, like literally holding her like a football.
Yeah, you tuck it.
Right.
He looks at all of you and he says, "This way. Let us provide you lodging."
Lead the way,
Then-
Pierce says, and gestures forward.
He leads you in. The doors slide open. You can see there are 2 more security officers there on this vessel. This seems to be pretty normal. Space stations like this are often used as part-time holding if you've got criminals that need to be moved and the whatnots, or might hold, some light criminals here and there, but all in all, most of this is meant to be outpost work. Like, they're reporting back to larger space stations and assuring that things stay in the norm. Yeah. And he gestures in, he nods at both of the other 2. They are also human as well.
is there a way to do a perception or investigation type of check?
That would be, I think that's brains, actually. Let me double check, because it may be... Okay, socially... okay, I'm gonna make the... it's technically not a charm, I'll be honest. Okay. A charm would be if you're doing it to someone else. I would say that he does look somewhat nervous. At that all of you are here. This place seems rather empty.
Yeah, so Bob wants to examine the suits of the security guards.
Okay.
To see if it looks like there is any either wear and tear or signs of a struggle or something
Sure.
to that effect.
That would definitely be a brains because Bob doesn't necessarily wear clothes
Right.
proper. So yeah, this would be a brains check because it is a little higher. You only need to make a 5 though. Interestingly enough, these seem... Doesn't seem to be any signs of a struggle, from what you
Okay.
can tell. They don't look like they've been in any kind of combat. There's no blood on their uniforms. They're this kind of dark, kind of midnight blue color. More like, I think, jumpsuits, right? They zip up the top, and they
right.
have the badge. They seem to fit them well. They don't seem oversized or undersized.
Okay.
But they seem weird. Humans are humans are usually well spoken. One of the most dexterous species of the Beta Cloud Nebula. And they get used quite often as grunt, like force security officers, so that's not weird, but he's specifically this guy walking with you, he's a bit stiff. He's got a strange, his walk is just kind of like a little weird.
I am going to project a surprise. Oh, I forgot something on the ship. And we should go get it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I start going back.
Yeah, I think I also forgot something on the ship, and we should all go back together as one cohesive unit and do it.
He goes, let me escort you.
No, I think we're good, Mr. Sergeant Casper. We're all good. We don't need anything at the moment.
Can I kind of tower over Casper?
You can, in fact, actually physically tower over him.
Also that I'm 7 feet fucking tall, so yeah, you know? Yeah, I just want to do that, that puffed chest kind of thing. And just, kind of look down. I'm all the escort we need. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Did you not just seek our refuge here aboard this valiant space station?
No, we did. We just realized that we all collectively, individually left something on the ship that we're gonna go back to right
You
now.
can roll a charm roll then to try to convince me somebody.
Well, let's go with it.
Not me, that's a D4.
That's a 4.
Right.
Oh! Oh!
A 4. His eyes kind of squint and he says, I think you should stay here. We can keep you safe from this oncoming vessel. Out there, I cannot keep you safe.
Telepathically, I start sending high-pitched squeals into this man's head.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. This is like an attack. Okay, he's got to make, this is a grit check, against, this is actually kind of like a fight.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you're fighting him mentally.
All right, so I'm tough.
Okay.
So if I lose a combat roll, I get +3 to the negative number.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Okay, so, what is your goal? What is the goal of putting this ping in him? Just to make him, drop to his knees? Do you want to make his head explode? How far are we going here?
No. I just want him to be ah, and drop down to his knees,
Okay.
and we can be run.
Got it. Check. Okay. You're right.
Okay.
You guys don't know anything about. You walked on board. There are 3 humans. You guys are like, nope. We are
No,
out.
we get nervous
We're
around here.
out of here. These humans cannot be trusted. Okay. Go ahead and make the fight roll. Let's see if you pass. You need a 5, I believe. Oh no, it's got to be over his grit. So I need
You
to
said
roll his
fight, not
Grit. Fight.
you said. Oh,
It
God.
is a
Grit.
fight.
All right.
Oh, it's a fight, not a grit.
I have a
Oh.
D4.
He
in
rolls a
fight.
grit. He rolls a grit against your fight
Oh.
to not emotionally break down. So it's okay. He's not. Oh, that's a crit, and he failed. It was D4 against D4. That's amazing. Okay.
Casper!
He does. He goes, ow, what is that? Do you hear that? Oh, ah! And he kind of drops to his knees. As he does, something interesting happens. When his head jerks back and he yells out, his human voice changes. It alters into this kind of deep grumble, and he lets out this as if something tries to escape him. Something's living in his skin.
Can I punch him in the face?
You
Just
absolutely
knock him.
can.
Just like, Rob, don't like that.
Yeah, you can make a. You gotta beat a 2.
No.
You gotta beat a 2.
Okay, am I rolling fight?
This will be a fight.
Yeah, there's gonna be a fight. Let's see. Let's roll that fight. How about 12?
Oh my god.
With a big old fist full of tire.
Right? Oh yes, you have the princess in one
and
arm.
holding the princess.
You take your leftover tire and whap him with it. He's screaming in this like blood curdling like stops as his body thuds to the floor. The other 2 security officers in this room, you hear the sound of a they go, stop, you vagrants, you!
Run! And then Pierce grabs inside of his med kit and just throws some like headache pills and some bandages on the ground on top of the guy that just got knocked out.
You
and then
poof
takes
him
off sprinting the other way.
with an ace bandage. You thought him with an ace bandage in his head as you all run. They are going to fire off at you. But like I said, even as you run, if you turn around and look, that you can tell they're not. It's like they're stiff in their joints. They move in this like odd way. The only way I can describe it is like the big bad from the first Men in Black movie.
Yeah.
The one that had the like thing
Yes.
under, and he's just like he's just
Yes.
not right in his skin.
In the Eka suit.
And yes,
Yep.
exactly. He's
Super
not
wild
quite right
crazy.
in his suit, and you don't entirely know why. As they go to aim, they will also make a fight roll. 3. And the first one's just they're just spraying and praying. So all of you have a choice. You can stand and attempt to fight back in some way, or you can roll a flight and attempt to dodge their oncoming fire.
Bob wants to fight.
Bob's here for the fight. Okay, the way fighting works actually in Teens in Space is really interesting. Everything happens simultaneously. So instead of being, a 10 second, everything's happening at once. So they've rolled for their gunfire. Plow, plow. The camera kind of slows down in slow motion as all of you take your first major fight action. So, you can choose to stand and fight, and you tell me how you do that, or you can, roll a flight and make some kind of attempt for a dodge of the oncoming fire.
I would like to, if possible, use I have like I have an inflatable cushion in one of my med packs, and I would like to kind of take that and envelop the princess in it so we can use our big strong beef mattress to fight.
Right, big strong beef mattress, not carrying princess, but fighting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's an interesting one. That is still, you're doing it quickly, and you're trying to do it and keeping her out of harm's way, so you and her are dodging, so I'm still gonna have you make the flight.
Perfect. Okay.
And who's next?
So Bob Bob has like an arc torch that he uses for engineering, but also is a projectile weapon. So he aims at the one closest to him, and he fires back at this being.
Cool.
He's aiming for the neck because that is where the sound is coming, and he does not like it.
Cool. Great. So yeah, you pull that torch. It's almost like you charge it. There's like that blue flame.
Right, yeah.
And you manage it like shoots out the end of the gun.
Yes.
So you will make a fight check for your gun.
All right.
Not flight, but fight.
And
Crit fail. That's okay.
crit fail.
That's okay. You get an adversity token that you can use on your next turn or anytime after. So
Okay.
just mark that. That adversity token can be used for a fair share of things. Let me see. I think I've got a list right here. The next time you roll, you can spend 1 to get a +1 to any stat check. And you can use multiple, for the record, everybody, adversity tokens. So you could say, I want to use 3 adversity tokens and add a +3 to a roll.
All right.
Some improvements can be attained. Great. And then you can also, eventually you guys would be able to spend adversity tokens to level some things up and whatnot. But that's usually the best way to use it, is later on to use it on a roll. It fires, but it's funny. Both of you and him rolled. Yours is higher though, isn't it? What's your die on that? A d6. Yeah.
D6.
We'll say it does hit him. I'm going to give it to the player because I think it's way more interesting and it's going to fill in an important piece. As this flame... Well, I'll get to the description of what happens all at one time. Okay. Who is next? That would leave Caspia.
Yeah, and Caspia is doing what they do best, and that's flighting.
Yes. Flight
Just
it then.
Running away.
Yeah, you got to get that ship ready.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, that is gonna be my thing. Submit.
Oh,
my gosh.
another one. Okay. Okay.
Oh, wow.
This is gonna be fun. Well, take another adversity token.
Those are
That's
going to come in handy eventually.
That's the good. The good news is only one of them has rolled higher than all of you. Like, there's 1 and 1 is basically a roll off. So, okay, Pierce. I'm sorry, Jim. What are you up to?
Well, I mean, Pierce took the princess, right? So
Yeah, I imagine it kind of gets scooped out of your hand in this slow motion moment. You may even toss her up as Pierce catches her in a pillow.
yeah, it's just kind of like a good little alley oop. Like I trust Pierce enough to catch
Yeah.
her.
The princess's lip body goes like, kind of flying backwards.
Yeah, and I think Chim just gonna like kind of put the pedal to the metal, and them old big feet are just gonna come and charge and like a big old football player. He gonna come and just and then smash that other guy like right into the wall.
Fight
love
then.
Jim so
Let me
much.
get a fight.
Yeah, your mom, you can fight. I'm bringing right to you.
I can't. I love Chim so much. I don't know what to do.
Oh yeah, no.
Holy moly. Okay.
Now, this
Great.
one made for something.
He's got to roll. He's got to roll a
Mom will be
grit,
proud.
which he can't. He takes 15 points. You basically crush his bones in your
If we-
hands.
If we murder people on our final, does that mean we fail? Is that a passing grade?
Right.
I don't
At
know,
this
that
point, it's looking like
championship score
extra
right
credit,
there.
It's-
yo.
it's
'Cause,
extra
like,
credit,
it's
yeah.
extra credit. Okay, so
It's
here's
extra
what
credit.
here's what goes down. You hear that first like the fire, blow, blow. These kind of pew laser links come out of the end, bright neon blue as they shoot across the space. At the same time, we see Caspia turns and begins running. The princess limp goes flying in the air as Pierce catches her, and they also turn to run. Bullet miss, phew, you, but 2 of you stay. I need a grit check from Bob and Chim.
Alright.
Okay, beat.
All right.
Good job, gentlemen. These one shoots right past you, Caspia. Like, almost too close for comfort. The other one actually pings into Bob's chest and tanks off of the suit that you're wearing. Maybe it hit a metal piece, you're unsure. But this blue ball flame, as the fire, shot lets loose, hits this human on his clothing and goes up in an unnatural quick way. In a turn. He begins as he's running around the space. Chim promptly sees this, walks up to the other one, boom, smashes with leftover tire. His body goes limp under a crunching of bone and flesh. And it would be you, Chim, that sees it. The blood oozes out of the ear and onto the floor. I don't know if you've ever seen human blood. It seems unnaturally thick, coagulated in some way.
We have yerks. Are these yerks?
And the blood seems to have these kind of chunky small bits in it that kind of like they have electricity to them. They kind of like and they let off this kind of blue neon ember of cybernetics.
Ooh.
Ooh, now that he may be familiar with because he was raised
Make a
with
quick brain.
Ragafell.
I was about to say we're technically out of combat because you crushed them, the 3 of them, at least the 3 in this room. So why don't we get a brain
we won the
check?
game.
Well, let's
That's how it works.
let's get a brain check from Jim.
brains. Not the best.
Okay. You do have some bionic augmentation, I guess we could say. You're used to that. There are only a few species that you know of that deal in this kind of bionic body augmentation. Most of them do it at the approval of the general populace here in Beta Cloud Nebula. There are a few that do not. Though you yourself have never seen this, in fact, there is a species, one that was, again, almost wiped out in the Great War, and they use science to reanimate corpses. They're known as the Frigorians. Once a very revered species in terms of the science that they brought to the system at large, but very much feared. And they rose to power rather quickly, which made them a hot-to-trot target during the Great War. And it was to their almost demise. Nobody has really seen or heard from the Frigorians in a long time.
Can I kind of like just take my finger and just swipe up some of that blood to save for later?
Yeah.
Well, I know Caspia gonna want to see this.
You like sloop it up. It kind of drips. It's almost like gack. Do you remember gack?
Yes,
It's like thick like gack.
Yes.
That's the only way. And as
right.
you kind of hold it, you can see it's still partially transparent. And it's got this like it's kind of blue and black. It almost looks like oil slick. And you kind of look at it. It sticks to your finger like gack. It kind of runs down, but it's not like dripping everywhere. I guess you could say that's a sample that you can take back to the vessel.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's about this time that you look up and a door slides open that clearly goes deeper into the space station. There are a few more non-dexterous humans that come like waddling through. One of them goes, "Hey you!" as it points.
Can I look at Firmo real quick? Like do like that quick glance, like we doing this or like?
There's a lot of them.
Oh, but a lot of them make me excited. Like this is gonna be a good time. This is what's called a party.
Yeah, you know, Bob's always up for a party. This is a bad decision. But we're
teens
teenagers.
making bad decisions.
Yes,
Yes, making bad
the
decisions.
teenagers
Mom,
making bad decisions. So
Can I just
Bob,
like reach out and like high five Bob?
yeah, so Bob looks at him, goes to high five. You see a smile on his face with the angry eyebrows.
Yeah. I think like when the hands, connect,
Yeah.
like there's like little sparks that come out of
Yeah.
Jim's eyes. Like
We'll
he's
fight.
excited. He's electric. We gon' fighting.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. If Caspia and Pierce are headed to the vessel and the ship, and they're wanting to go back to Trader Joe's, then I'm gonna just both have you make a flight check. You'll be out of basically most of this combat, and we'll give you a turn to do other things in the ongoing process. So both of you just make a quick flight. Beautiful.
Oh wow. Wow.
Nice! Wow! Oh, okay, and crit success. Yeah, both of you hear another set of doors open. You don't stop. And both of you, it's going to take you probably 1 or 2 turns to make it through this kind of clear tunnel to the vessel, but you're on your way to safety as the doors close behind you and there's an airtight seal. Bob.
Yes.
Jim, let's do
Yes.
this. They don't have guns. At least they don't have them drawn. They came in just bare fists.
Right.
Okay. So they make... I'm going to try to make this real easy. Let's see. We'll say there are 6 of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll 6d4. And we'll just take them individual... Oh, my God. Okay. Well, gang, I got 3 criticals, 2 failures, and 1 who knows. Okay. That is their attack on you. They run in the room and kind of they attempt to surround you is their goal. And they begin throwing punches. I need you both to roll a grit. You're going to take
All right.
3 punches each.
All right. Oh no.
Okay. I'll let you roll. You're gonna get to roll grit 3 times, basically,
Okay.
for every punch.
All right. So, yeah, Bob got punched in the face or punched into something.
Yes, you did. Wow. Okay, that's way better. One punch just woke you right up.
Yeah. Bob, that's a crit success on his D12.
That is okay. That's great because that's gonna negate the crit success they had on punching you. And one more time.
Does it again.
Wow! Yeah, Bob.
Wow. Okay, so looking at these numbers, literally none of them are less than their attacks on you. You do notice, like, when they're hitting you, again, humans are highly intelligent creatures. Many of them are strong. They seem to be affected. They're not as strong as they probably should be. That may be why they're in mass number. Great. They kind of thud and punch at you. The only person I believe that takes any damage at all is gonna be the first punch for Bob. They punch and they actually knock a tube loose.
Oh no. Okay.
They knock a tube loose. It's accidental. They like punch you and the arm gets caught and they rip it away and the tube like it's not you eking out of it, but maybe your heat system or something that is necessary. So the good news is it ticks you off enough that the both of you have I guess I need to roll their grit, don't I? To see it.
And I just ran away with my suit putty.
Yep.
Oh no.
Okay, holy garbage.
Oh my god, Dot!
Why don't the both of you collaboratively tell me how you, like, full on Kill Bill your way out of this situation?
Right. So,
Let's do this, Bob.
yeah. So, Bob gets hit. He loses a tube. So the angry eyebrows get matched by an angry, like, scowl on his face. Or like when he actually gets hit, he gets angry eyebrows and then he gets a circle mouth. Like, what? And then he pulls out the arc torch and he just starts slicing through them.
You cut these long strips, and as you do, the flames parse outwards and begin to engulf their bodies.
Yes.
3 of them are now like they're tripping over bodies of their the other security officers here.
Yeah. Go ahead,
So
Jim.
I imagine that this is kind of like that fight scene in Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yes.
where they're just like in sync. Like it's just beautifully shot, neon colored
Listen, let me see
movements,
if I
and just like ridiculous, like just everything. And I think because you're like I go to punch somebody and you just hear that like slow motion satisfying crack and teeth go flying or something. But then your tube is busted, right? So maybe like as I'm like spinning around and you're moving in front of me, I'll just like electrically charge up my hand and grab the tube together and kind of like solder it.
Oh,
So that
man.
like you see it like
Yes.
you're gonna have to fix it, right?
Cool.
But
Right.
it's working right now, and then just do like one of those like backhands to like some dude that was trying to jump on my back. That's how that works.
Perfect.
That's amazing. And this scene happens, I imagine there's a camera that's in the middle that goes 360 as we watch this fight in a 360 motion. A second camera pans out to Caspian and Pierce, who are running. The doors slide open from the tunnel and you're able to enter the ship. You are still unsure what has happened to the rest of your teammates.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna say the both of you notice there's a ship getting ready to dock here.
Yeah, you, Pierce, see a image of one of our, like, gun turrets, and you sitting in it.
Radio. So Pierce puts on his special gun gloves. He goes over to the wall. There's this special set of gloves that allows him to actually manipulate things with his fingers, because again there are spikes sticking out pretty much everywhere.
Right.
He's got to slide on these special gloves.
Love it.
And picks up the princess, who he had set on a mattress down on the ground,
Uh-huh.
and just kind of rolls her up again and runs off to the gunner seat.
Yeah, you kind of ball her up. She sleeps soundly on this booth table where all of you convened earlier, and you run to the turrets. Caspi, I'm guessing you run to the cockpit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Boot the
And I'm
vessel up.
firing everything up and turning
What
it on.
does it look like as you're like setting your ship up? I mean, like, this is what you do. I'm sure it comes second nature.
Yeah, so it's just literally like a run in and like a hop into the seat, and it's like I always seat myself in, like buckle myself in, always. So buckle in, and then it's
Safety
just,
first.
Whoops, sorry, excuse me. And then it's like flip, 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 turn dials, flip, 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 and then different lights come on, and then the ship starts to go. And yeah, so it's all starting getting ready. I also put on music. It's like
Nice.
some like whale song that's like done with like a bit of like a drum and bass beat to it as well, because I like to feel the vibrations in the water.
Yeah, that makes sense. That would be how you would like properly listen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, now that's playing throughout the entire ship because like it helps get me fired up.
Then the bass drops out and it's like. So here for this. The music comes on. Pierce, you know it is time for action when the whales start singing.
Oh yeah, that's the battle song.
That's the battle cry of Trader Joe's. And you hop into this turret, which I imagine's in this like little dome on your vessel, and it has like a gun that points out the front. You hop in and like adjust inside of it, and it kind of comes into your control. Yeah, it takes you a second. A little HUD screen pops up, and as you, I'm guessing, point towards the oncoming vessel that's trying to dock in the one across from you, you see something interesting along the side of the vessel. It says, it is labeled, and you recognize it. I want to make sure I get this right. You recognize it as, it says FAA. It's stamped as a Future Academia agent's vessel.
Oh.
And as you point right at them, it finishes like landing, and it comes down. And Queen Bee, along with her 4 crewmates that are also trying to finish their final exam, step off.
Pierce opens up the comm to Caspia. Caspia, you seeing this?
And you see a affirmative thumbs up, and I reach out to Caspia's mind, or not I am Caspia.
From Caspia's mind. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To Queen Bee's mind.
Is that
Okay.
what happens when you talk to yourself? Is it
Yeah.
like, do you just reach out into your own mind?
Just
I reach out
emojis.
into my
Right, right.
well, I reach out into the various different sea monkeys
Okay.
inside of me.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So you reach out into her mind. Pierce, you very clearly watch as Caspia does so. She like stops. She's very clearly in charge of the script. She like stops, like looks around, closes her eyes as she's like listening to something. The rest of the crew waits. She has 2 very, call them heavies. They are well armed. These would be fighters, probably trained by the agency. One of them an operative, one of them a soldier. There's definitely some kind of scientist type creature, carries a large backpack with all this tech gear on it. And she like stops them. And what do you project into her mind?
The last image that I saw of the fighting in the halls. So I guess what I last saw was Chim crush a
Guy with
not
a tire.
quite human, and like this weird noise, everything. That last moment is what I
Is what you
project.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
She like stops and she like gasps and she goes, what was that? She kind of looks around. Weird. Hello?
And then I guess I project like the words being typed out.
Yeah,
almost,
and she
like,
goes, oh.
Queen
and
Bee, it's Caspia. Danger in there.
Well, like, duh. I don't know if she can hear me. She says to her crew. She goes, well, like, duh. We were here to kill everybody.
Okay.
She goes,
Just make
wait, are you telling me they're already dead?
There's like the feeling of a shrug.
Okay. She says something to her crew, like behind him, and gives them the signal. They start heading in. The camera pans from a 360 view where Bob and Chim now stand amidst a bunch of bodies, 8 of them, 9 of them, in fact, lay on the ground. There's basically like doors on all 4 corners, each one of them leading to the docking stations. Another one opens. Probably both of you turn in that heightened awareness, and it is, of course, Queen Bee herself and her crew. And she goes, now how am I supposed to pass my final? Chim.
Oh, hi, Queen.
Jinx is her name. She runs over, and she says, did you all do this by yourself?
Well, no, not by myself. I had help from Bob there. You should see him. He good to scrap.
Shim is good in the fight.
Why are you here?
Well, we had to protect the princess, and like someone was gonna come get us.
Wait. The Galactic Princess? Sugar Spike herself?
But
Is here?
I mean,
It's
I don't believe.
classified.
She kind of like cowers at your like boisterous voice. Can I meet her? Come on, Jim, please, 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 please.
We gotta keep her safe right now. I don't think it's.
I'm not gonna hurt her. You owe me. I'm gonna have to fail my final now.
But why do I owe you?
Because you killed
Nah.
my final. She gestures to all the bodies on the ground.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just extra credit for me. And for
Yeah,
Bob.
but it means that I'm gonna fail.
You needed to kill them. They're dead. They're dead.
Well,
That's it. Done.
You could take the credit. I mean, we really don't need it. We're doing pretty good on our mission.
She kind of like, she gets a little closer. She's now officially entered what might be considered a personal bubble. And she kind of like, she says, really? You do that for me?
Well, I mean, we don't need it, so I'll just do it.
Okay. And she says, you didn't get any of the blood on you, did you?
No, I mean, he kind of just points to himself. There's probably a lot of blood.
She doesn't say anything. She takes that in. She backs up from you. And she says, so about the princess.
Well, I mean, Bob, what do you? I mean, they don't kind of know where we're going. Like,
You can see her at prom. She's coming to prom with me. Maybe.
She, like, cuts a set of eyes at Bob. Like, the Galactic Princess is going to the, like, most futuristical prom with you?
oh, I mean, yeah. Have you seen him? I'd ask him, but he already fancied the princess.
You would... Well, you know, I don't have a date to the prom.
I'm sorry.
This is my actual high school experience happening right now.
It is also mine. I am ace as fuck and just miss all of that.
Oh, me too.
I'm loving this. Is great.
Okay. Well, you know, if you change your mind, Jim. And she kind of like runs a little bit of a finger down your chest. You know how to call me.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're my data sim.
Yeah. She says, you know, you could call anytime, really.
Do you want me to call right now? I mean, we're right here. Just
No,
kinda
Jim,
talking.
just later, maybe, or something. She says, and she says, just
Alright.
call me, okay? And she turns around and looks at her crew, and you could tell if you were on the opposite side of the camera, her face would go down, and she does the like wrap up motion as all of them are like, and she says, I don't want to talk about it. Get on the ship. And they're all like, okay. As they all go, she turns and takes a photo of all of the bodies, making sure that obviously you are not involved in that. And they turn and leave. Pierce and Caspia, it takes about 5 or 6 minutes. They exit. They're alive, the 4 of them, and you watch them get back on their vessel. They don't take off right away, but they do get back on board.
Okay, well, we jettisoned all the pieces out, right?
You did.
Okay.
From what you can tell, you did. And I would say Bob and Chim, unless there's something else you want to do aboard, there is more of this space station. You don't know if there are more people aboard it, or what's really gone on here in its entirety. But you solved the problem.
Is there a computer terminal nearby?
There is. Quite a few of them.
Bob would like to visit the computer terminal.
Yeah, sure. You can, you walk straight over to it. It seems to be fully functional. There was not enough gunfire to actually, like, do that much damage other than a bunch of charred bodies. So go ahead and make a... Aw, thanks! Go ahead and roll a brains.
All right.
To peek into this. Okay. A 5. You kind of click through. You don't find anything of extraordinary interest. This is a security terminal on a secure vessel, security vessel. So it's got secure. It's got a bunch of firewalls in it. But what you find most interesting, Bob, at least with the role that you got, is as you start going through the archive, because you would know whoever was captain of the ship, Captain Casper, should have been logging daily.
Right.
That is what they do. The log stopped about 6 months ago.
Oh.
Proper, which tells you that either that's not Captain Casper, or something happened to make them stop logging regularly. That's very clear. There has also been some kind of, I guess you could call it a firewall or a block of some kind that has been placed on the security vessel to not let anybody from the outside in. It's kind of basically it's a looped network. It's secure. It's a secure network in and itself. Probably to keep people from tracking them or being able to call in and communicate with them.
Can Bob grab like the I don't know if there is like a circuit board, because he recognizes that these guys are androids of some sort.
Correct.
They're mechanical of some sort. Is there a brain, a heart, something analogous to like the CPU, the thing that like
a space station like this would have a reactor.
Well, I'm talking about for the
security officers.
Yes.
You don't technically have all of the necessary things here. Your medic might to do like a scan of the bodies. Right. But from what you can tell, and from the amount of damage you just did to all of them, they seem to have organs and all the things bones that crush, just like humans would. So there would be plenty of organs for you to collect, from the brain to the heart to the spleen.
Oh, but nothing electronic?
Their blood seems to be what has the electronic vibe to it. Oh. And you can see it too, now that it's kind of everywhere. It's almost like it, like I said, it's kind of like an oil slick, but where you would usually see kind of shiny spirals seems to be some kind of bluish neon bionic.
So, out of one of Bob's arms comes a little vial, and he collects a little bit of the fluid.
Nicely done. Yeah.
And
I got a sample right here.
It's also all over.
It's all over. Yeah.
It was contaminated by the Queen.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense.
Yes.
Like you're smart up here.
Yeah.
I don't know where
it's
you really
it's
are.
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And I would say on that note, you can collect anything that you want off of them. There are 2 weapons if you want to grab 2 pistols.
Yeah, we grab those
Yeah.
weapons.
You can grab the 2 laser pistols if you want. I don't know if you've been trained with them, if that was part of your training.
I mean, worst case scenario,
so
I just hit people with them.
You can use it as a bludgeoning weapon.
100% grabbed those pistols and then went back to back, Charlie's Angels style.
Yeah, there's like a moment as the camera,
Yes.
and it pans back to the vessel edge. The 2 of them enter. Caspia and Pierce, they are covered in some kind of effervescent, thick, gooey substance. There's a large amount of it on Sim's finger. Bob has some in a vial. And they carry 2 guns.
Pierce immediately notices that Bob's tube is undone, and still having his gun gloves, holds the princess in one of the gun gloves, and then pops out the suit paste, and with one hand starts smudging it on the hole where the tube used to be, and is just kind of like rubbing it in.
Good job.
That's friends. Tube paste. Rubbing friends. And it's about this time in your hand, Pierce, that you feel she kind of like, what happened? She sits up and all of you are covered and she goes, what is that?
It's
space blood.
Space blood. Yeah, I was gonna put it differently, but yeah, it's space blood.
She goes, no, it isn't. She kind of like looks deeply at it.
I mean, it is. It kind of came out on all them people over there.
Where did
The
you
humans.
find that? You should not. I don't, and then she kind of stops talking again. She's like, I don't know what to, You're gonna really want to wash that off your body. Like now.
I mean, is it bonus?
Sugar Spike is smart. Do what she says, Jim.
But
here, look what I got. I've got some there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. In a
perfect
vial.
for testing.
Sort of like pat your back.
Yeah, and she kind of looks at Caspia and she goes, we're safe, right? We made it to the security place?
There's a picture. They don't show.
The truth of the matter.
No, there's just like a I guess I just picture a graveyard.
Oh no!
She like looks at all of you taking that in and she goes, okay, I feel like I missed a lot. Space is scary.
And yeah, I picture so in my head I picture her, the princess, and like big baddie figures sneaking around in the background trying to like snatch her.
Oh! She goes, you're not gonna let them take me, are you?
No, of course not.
She goes,
and then question mark. Who?
Caspia's right. We do need some information, princess. If you know anything.
Who what? No, I didn't do anything. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. It's not my fault.
No one's saying it's your fault. We just need.
I can't tell you. If I tell you, it would ruin everything. Can't.
Okay, I want to use some charm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Get her, Captain.
Yeah. So there's some charm. So in my head, I actually project the feeling I felt as I became sentient. And
interesting.
as I started to be aware of things and what it felt like to be a series of sea monkeys, because my being is made up of the organisms that live inside me. So it's like algae and sea monkeys and like those algae eaters that clean
the little bottom crawlers. Yeah.
So just
I imagine there's one officially stuck to the front of your belly.
Oh my god, you have
There's
a
always-
midnight.
Yeah, it's like a little.
Cutest thing.
It's okay. Okay. Go ahead and roll the charm then.
And so yeah, I'm trying to show because I suspect something's up
Yeah.
here, because I saw her touch our ship, and all of this, something's weird. I don't know the history that Pierce knows,
Sure.
but I know
But your
something's
instincts are
up.
telling you something's up, which seems
Yeah.
right, even if you don't understand it
I was gonna
entirely.
use like real dice, and then I realized no, wait, we have the charm.
You can use real dice. It's always nice to
Okay.
roll real dice.
Charm. I know. Oh yeah, I got a bonus. That's my +1.
Good. I was about to say, because you're going to need it against the princess, who has a very high charm.
It's a 4.
Okay.
So wait, I have a question. How this works on the character sheet? So like I have for charm a D12 +1. So that's what I put. Does it, when it rolls, is it automatically adding?
So if you scan your mouse
Oh,
over,
okay, yeah,
you'll
yeah,
see
yeah,
it says
yeah.
like you rolled a 3 plus a 1.
Okay.
You do still have an adversity token. You could add another 1 to that if you wanted to. Don't you? Didn't you have one? Who had one?
Yes, I do,
Yeah, you
and
have
I
one.
will, because this is important.
I was about to say 5 was the bare minimum, so that's probably good. So you roll it. She stops, and you see kind of her quills almost. They lose their volume as she kind of like slumps a little, and she says, "Can I tell you all a story? I've never done this before, but maybe I could try. Once upon a time, there was a princess, and when she was born, she had, she was sensitive to people's feelings and emotions. And everyone told her that she had powers that her people had not seen in decades. And so they kept her in hiding, away from everybody else, so that she could grow those powers, and they could keep her safe from everyone that would want to harm her. She lived a good life, but all she knows is books. And now she has friends. And she wants to tell them the truth, but if she does, they could get hurt. I don't know how to end a story.
Oh,
It's
usually...
not done yet.
Oh!
Right now you say to be continued.
Oh, okay. To be
Or-
continued next week, 8 p.m., right here on the dot lot.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Oh, I love it so much. And that's
These perfect cliffhangers.
so good, so good. So that is, because we are at time, that is where we will end tonight's episode of Teens in Space. Yeah, that's where we're going to end. Oh, I'm so glad I saved my story for the end, because I was going to tell it earlier, and I'm really glad I did it now.
Yes, I love
Wonderful.
it.
This is just so great. So let's quick go around, because I know we're a little over time, and we'll get these lovely people out of here. For all of you at home, remember that when you support the Dot Lot, whether you follow, whether you subscribe, whether you are part of our Patreon, all of your support helps me pay these incredible people that are here on the screen that have entertained you all night with their teenage angst. So please make sure to show them some love. And it does look like we had one come through today that said from Vulpez, and I gotta read this one out. It says 5 times of love for the chim of our youths. So there's our shout out. Thank you so much.
We've all got a little chip in our day.
This is it. So thank you. So let's go around. We'll actually go backwards this time, and we'll start with Marcus.
Hi, my name is Marcus. You can follow me on Twitter at Best Kind of Worst, or Best Kind of Worst, because grammar. Yeah, I love this. It was fantastic. I cannot wait for next week. You all are lovely. Thanks to everyone who watched. And I'm just gonna walk down these stairs. And that's how you end a story.
And that's how you would just walk right on out. Also, it was great to have you back. And tonight, yeah, we'll see. You may be doing some doctrine before it's over with, Pierce. I'll be honest with you.
It looks like
I'll
it's
be
gonna
honest
happen,
with you. To our bravest, most tire-eating boy. Or, I guess I should just say Chim, because I feel like tire-eating Chim is way better than tire-eating boy. Gnome, who are you and where can we find you online?
Well, I am Gnome, and you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Nomadic. I do all sorts of things in the TTR space on the lines, mostly really now about space. This is hashtag Gnomes in Space 2020.
Yep.
Basically, everything that I'm playing is space themed. You can obviously catch me here on Wednesdays and Teens in Space. You can catch me tomorrow with a dot for another space game on the Unmade Gaming channel. We are playing Coriolis, which is a freaking beautiful game. And then, speaking of Coriolis, I am producing a podcast over on We Never Left RPG over on Twitter. We just announced our cast, so we are in kind of like backstage production right now.
Nice.
Also based on Coriolis, so I'm super excited because so much freaking space.
So much space.
There's so much space. And then some days you can catch me at the Kobold Press channel on Twitch, where we play The Last Heir, which is a Tales of the Old Margrave, so very like mystical forest, like sentient forest type game, DM'd by the amazing Crafting Muse.
Nice.
And I was doing something else. Oh, God's Fall, Demigod's
yeah.
Fall. I'm in that thing. Yeah. We just started kind of. We're off our hiatus. We just released 2 episodes in the past 2 weeks, and they're a doozy. So you can check that out at demigodsfall.com. Thank you. That's it.
Nicely
I'm
done.
done. I think.
All right, Cicero, you up.
Yeah, so I am Cicero Holmes. I am Stubby Stan on all of your social media platforms. You can, besides here, right here, you can find me on twitch.tv/DND on Sundays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, with the rest of my crew in Rivals of Waterdeep,
Nice.
where we're in our 6th season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. It's crazy. Additionally, I am doing some space related things, talking about the latest trek into Star Trek, that is Star Trek Picard, on my show Discovery Debrief with some friends of mine, and you can check us out at DSC Debrief on Twitter, or check your local podcast catcher for new episodes, as well as catch me doing random shenanigans as part of the Incomparable network of Incomparable podcasts. So I will be on those whenever I just happen to be on one of those. Otherwise, you can see me coming really soon at C2E2, the Chicago Comics and Entertainment Expo.
Nice.
Where we, the Rivals, will be doing one of our episodes on Sunday. And so at our normal time slot, we will actually have a live show. So anyone that can hear my voice is in the Chicago area or are coming to the Chicagoland area for C2E2, please make sure you come and check us out.
Awesome. And Victoria.
Hi, I'm Victoria. You can find me on Twitter at Mimi Merlot. You can also find me over on the Broadswords, an all-woman and non-binary D&D podcast. I am the social media coordinator for Renegade Game Studios, and you can find me on their Twitch moderation, so you can join us on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 1 p.m. PT. We have some Power Rangers action going on. We have some Clank. We have a Clank League right now that we're in the middle of, which has been fun. And then on Thursdays, we tend to just do random unboxings, different playthroughs of different games and things that are upcoming that aren't released yet. So you can usually find me in chat running polls and trying to get our host to say ridiculous things. And then on Saturdays right now, for the next 2 Saturdays on Roll20, you can find me on the Roll20 Twitch stream for Saturday Morning Fate from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Cool.
UT. We are playing a gem-themed futuristic disco DJ game, and it's super fun. I am playing Rave, a party girl DJ. So that's a lot of fun. Join us for there.
That's awesome. Well.
May I say one more thing?
Yeah, of
really
course.
Quickly? It would be I'd be terrible if I didn't wish my youngest son happy birthday, son.
Oh, Oh, happy birthday
Happy
from the
birthday!
Dogline. Let's get some love in chat. You guys
I
drop
can't do the
some
heart, but,
hearts.
yeah.
All the hearts.
Yeah, drop some hearts, drop some
Get some
love.
hearts, some cake.
Aw.
Yeah, look, we got cake.
Look
We
at
got
that.
everything
Oh, we got
on the
so
dot
much.
line.
Yeah, we got so
All
much
right.
going on here. Look at
Yes.
that.
All
There it
right.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Cake,
awesome.
all the treats. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, little Cicero, because I don't know your child's name.
He literally is little
Cicero.
Cicero.
Well, there you
Little
go.
Cicero.
I got it right.
Cicero the
Awesome.
Fourth.
Well,
Cicero the Fourth.
definitely happy birthday to the little Cicero. And I'm Little Red Dot. I am so glad that all of you guys came out. Thank you so very much for today. If you want to find out more about what I'm doing, the easiest way is via social media, of course, or sticking with us inside of the Discord, where we'll talk. We have a place to chat teens in space, as well as a slew of other things, and it's just a great community if you need a place to hang out and people to chat with. Yeah, you can definitely catch me on the North by Northwest podcast. We actually, Cicero has guested on an episode that should be coming up pretty soon, so you might want to catch up
Alright.
on that. Yeah. The end of the volume that I'm currently GMing features old Cicero. And again, Thursdays over on Unmade Gaming channel at 8 p.m. for a Coriolis campaign that I am GMing with Gnome. Clearly, I have a problem when I like people. I keep them in my lives. And on Saturdays, you can catch me at my home away from home over on the Roll For It Network in a Vampire the Masquerade campaign called Silence of Shadows. Season 2, it's my dark little love. My dark soul gets to survive over there. So definitely check that out. And I am excited as well to announce that starting in February, we'll be bringing a Dragon Age campaign to the Dot Lot. Yes, for all of you at the home that love Dragon Age, you can tune in. It'll be called Dragon Age Vengeance. I will actually be playing in it, not GMing it. Surprise! I'm very excited because it's launching a new series here on the Dot Lot called the Dot Lot Incubation Series, which basically allows all of you at home to submit, and I help support your ideas and give you 4 weeks and 4 players to do a show of your choosing. And we're trying to do this right now on Sundays with the Dragon Age. So Saverik will be our GM. We have some brand new people coming to the Dot Lot, which was part of my goal for this, and it's gonna be really exciting. So I'm pretty stoked about it. So keep an eye out for that. Yes, Sav. If for any of you that are real Dragon Age fans, this is going to be a good one. And the new Sunday Fun Day signups are out, gang. If you want to play on the channel, you can. Once a month, we have a community game called Sunday Fun Day, where I drink mimosas from a jug, and we play all kinds of tabletop games for anywhere between 6 to 9 hours, depending how I'm feeling that Sunday. And so we've got the new lineup coming up from February, March, and April. So you can check that out. It is available and open to the public, and all you got to do is show up and, I don't know, have a good attitude. That's all I asked for. And we'll tell stories together. So for all of you at home, thank you so much. We're going to go record a very quick after show because I went over today with my little story at the end. We were clearly very excited, and I can't wait to share some of that. So if you want access to that, of course, the Patreon is the place to do that. And I believe that's it. So we will see you all next week. Same dot time, same dot channel for more Teens in Space. Until next week. Bye.